Right. So, now.
Yeah, I think I started.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can start.
Yeah, you can start.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ibi Sarah, and I'll be anchoring the event for today. Just like we know, it's front end meetup, and specifically we'll be looking at the browser for today. I know there are some persons here. Basically, we might not be into tech per se, but then the topic today is very generic in the sense that whether you are a developer or not, we all make use of the web browser, right? So today we'll be learning more about the browser, exposing us to different things that the browser does apart from viewing websites and um, some other kind of engagement. So we'll be looking and talking deeply on what the browser itself is and the different tools we can access. So we have two speakers for today. First of all, um, Ekola Paul, that is our external speaker, is um, a web developer, front end web developer at Dev Angles, and then he'll be taking the floor starting off this afternoon. So, Ekola Paul, you can try to take over. Thank you.
Yeah, look, I am.
Yeah, I don't know if
Okay.
every other person can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you, boss.
I'll be sharing my screen. Yeah, can you see my screen? Okay. Good afternoon,
Yes.
everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Ekola Paul, by name, and I'll be talking about browser-based tools for front-end developers. Basically, we all use our browsers. Be it that you are a user or you are a developer, be it a backend developer or across various developer aspects we are into, we all use our browsers. And then we'll be talking about the actual tools that we use that utilize that can make us build more websites as a developer, as a content developer, more efficiently, and then we can also use it just for fun if you're a user perspective. So, a brief introduction about myself. I'm a developer by name, 1 year plus of working experience, and I'm also creative and passionate about development, basically. And then I'm a self-taught developer alongside my formal education, and I believe in continually improving myself in all aspects of life. So one thing I do when I'm not working or coding is I love playing video games or watching movies or having time with family and friends. And then going to today's topic, I want to start with what is the role of a content developer. The term content developer is used to describe someone who builds user interface, that is, someone that builds the client-side application of what you see. So, as a user, we all use our WhatsApp, we use our Instagram, but the people who actually develop those screens are what we refer to as a content developer. And then, as a content developer, we are responsible. Content developers are actually responsible for creating web pages that are compatible with all web browsers, because one thing I noticed is that the functionality of all browsers differs in some aspects. So as a content developer, you actually have to take that into consideration when building web application or websites. You actually have to put that into consideration when you are building screens, because as a content developer, you also build screens for both mobile devices, desktop devices, tablets, and so on and so forth. So we actually have to take into account and then work with across all browsers. And then, so for content developer browser tools, as a content developer, we have a lot of tools incorporated when we call ourselves a content developer, we have a lot of tools we use. We use ID, we use a lot of tools basically for coding, for visualization, for testing. We use a lot of tools, even for storage. For example, GitHub, we use it for storage. So, but today we're talking about the tools we use regularly, which is our browser. Be it you are working on Firefox, um, Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Chrome, and different browsers across board. So I'll start with, wouldn't it be great for us if we could edit our HTML and CSS in real time? That's editing what we have on your browser. So for instance, you go to wikipedia.com, you see the interface of it, and then you are like, how the actual developers, which is the content developers, because you are actually seeing the screens, how do they build these things? So one thing that comes in handy is our Chrome developer tools or browser developer tools basically, but I'll be using Chrome as my main topic today because we also have developer tools across all browsers. And then I'll just be talking about Chrome majorly today because it's Chrome I just want to use as my reference point. And then one thing that our developer tools allows us to do is to change, manipulate the state of what we currently have. And then we also use it to debug our JavaScript and then build the performance analysis of your website. So in some websites, you visit some sites and you notice that when they load up, they're probably slow or they take long to load some certain images. That's probably the image size is very heavy. So I'm kind of wait and then or frustrated at the same point that why is this image taking too long to load? And those are some features that comes, those are the tools that as a content developer, as a user, also you can actually check that what is actually happening behind the hood, what is actually happening behind the scene to also check around how we can also check, okay, why is this website slowing down? So I'll start by saying, I'll starting with inspect elements. And then what are inspect elements? I will say inspect elements are one of the developer tools incorporated into Google Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, across all browsers basically, which you can actually view and edit your CSS, HTML, and then the source code behind the web content you are viewing. That is what as a browser, what as a user, I mean, what you are seeing. You are curious to actually check, okay, how did these content developers build these screens? How did they come about it? So one thing that our inspect element, by the way, for you to go to your inspect element, you have to right click on your browser, and then on the lower part of the browser, you see the word inspect. And we can also use shortcuts like Command Shift, C, probably on Mac, and then probably on Windows, we can use Control Shift C to check our inspect elements, or F12 actually. So we can actually view and edit our HTML and CSS source code behind the content. And then the advantage of this is to check around, okay, if I change, for instance, you go to visit Wikipedia website and then you see that they wrote Wikipedia there. If I put my name, a corner post there, how will it look like? How will the visualization of it be on the long run? And then you can actually manipulate it also to change around how you can edit it, increase the color, the font size, the font weight of the web browser. And then in real time, you don't. Then one thing you don't have to worry about is that your page edit will only take effect for the duration of your session. That is, when you reload the page, it comes back to the initial state which the website was deployed. So once you refresh the page, the website reloads, and then it brings out the initial data on which the front-end developer deployed it. And then one of the benefits of having our inspect elements is if you really want to understand something, you want to understand, okay, how does this work? And you're curious that how does this actually work? And it's nice to be able to experiment with it. Inspect elements give you that advantage. So you can just play around with it, even play pranks on your friends that, okay, I'm on Wikipedia, change the, I will be displaying some of that data in the presentation, but you can actually change the images, change the character names, and so forth, and many things you can do with our inspect tool, our element tool rather. The second one I'll be talking about is our toggling pseudo states. So pseudo state is one of the important tools that comes in hand with our browser. In the element of our inspect tab, your developer tools, you can also view our HTML code and then also check around our CSS. So in the top right corner of your browser and your elements, your inspect rather, you'll see an overstate, which you can click to manipulate the initial state of which probably a button. You're curious to change the overstate of a button of a text to see how it will actually work when you incorporate that in your code. And then you can actually select an element you want to toggle and click the overstate button on top of the style panel. And then you can force the element to be any state you want it to be. That is changing the text color, text size, text, and anything you want to do with it, the background color, anything you actually want to do on that state, probably the overstate or the active state. Probably you have an hamburger menu, and then when it is active, you want it to perform another action. Then you can click on our active and then perform the action you want it to, and then manipulate.
Hello. I can't hear you, Paul. I don't know if anybody can hear him.
We can't see him. I think his network is bad.
Yeah,
Or maybe he
I
has
can hear
dropped
him
off.
as well.
I guess he has dropped off. He's not more on the call, his network. Just let's give him a moment. We'll join back very soon. Thank you all for joining. Okay, I think he's already back. John the Kuala. Okay, no, that's not Kuala. It's his brother. All right. In the meantime, till he joins back, let me share my screen.
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Is Mr. Paul back?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry, please, Mr. Paul
Okay.
back.
No, not yet. He's not back. But
All right.
yeah, in case we have any questions, we can just send it into the chat box, like, so that after the speakers have spoken, both of them, I can now read the questions out to them.
All right. Thank you for that. No problem. In the meantime, if you are new here, welcome to Bincom Dev Center. A subsidiary of the Bincom ICT solution where we train ourselves. This is one of our services that we render, which is the community event, which is to help build techies and also give them to give back to the tech world also. So and we have some services that we render at Bincom. So we have some services that we render at Bincom. We have the global tech, we have the Bincom Academy, and we have some tech network that exposes you to meet some mentors. And also at Bincom, we are we are always about your growth, and also you can follow us, use these opportunities to follow us on our social media channel at on Twitter, Bincom Dev Center, Instagram, Bincom Dev Center, Facebook, Bincom Dev Center. And I'm going to play a video for us right now. So please, before the speaker comes back in. So all right. Okay. The speaker is back. All right, sir. Welcome back, Mr. Paul.
I'm going to present my screen. Yeah, can you see my screen now? Can you know?
All right.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you and
Okay. Okay.
see your. We can't see your screen yet, though. Okay, yeah, we can see it.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. The next, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Sorry. Sorry about that. So the next tools across all browsers. I'm sure you know data are being passed. That it showed you the files, how the files are being loaded up on the browser. How long does it take for each one to load up on your browser? And then it essentially allows you to know which file is taking long for your browser to load. So probably you go to a particular website and then you notice that a particular file or an image or the site is slowing down. So this network tools is a major tool that allows you to, as a developer or as a user, you can also go there and then check around why is this particular website loading up slowly, and then why is it not fully loading up. So and then one thing that comes with this network tab is that you can also take screenshots of how the page is loading. So in the case you are loading a particular website or a particular web page, you can actually take screenshots through your network tab and then check around, okay, which particular file is taking too long for you to load up, and then you can now work with that particular tab. And then the other one I'll be talking about is our control utilities, our console tab. I would say basically our console tab allows you to log our web browser, such as network requests, error, debugging issues. It basically deals with JavaScript majorly, and then it helps us in debugging as a programmer, as a developer. It helps us in debugging, very necessary for all developers actually. Profiling, monitoring your work on a web page. So probably you receive a request, an API request as a front-end developer, and then you want to check around which data is actually coming from this endpoint. So this is where our console tool comes in. And then you can just console it to this our inspect elements, inspect tab, and our console tab. And then check around, am I actually receiving the data coming from an endpoint? And then also you can also manipulate it and then work on our console actually. Do some little JavaScript that you can do, and then work with that. And then the major uses of that Chrome developer tools or Chrome dev tool console is to log messages. That is either error messages, sources messages, data messages from an endpoint, and then it's running on basically JavaScript. And then I'll be talking about an external tool that we all come across daily too. It's what we call extensions basically. And then extensions basically are small software programs that allow us to customize our browser experience. They enable users to actually tailor browser functionality and behavior to individual needs and preferences. And they are actually built using tools like Java, programming language like JavaScript, HTML, CSS. And then the major extensions across all browsers I would prefer are things like fake fillers. So fake filler is an Chrome extension that allows you basically to fill in dummy data in your input field. So as a content developer, as a user, you go to some sites where you're actually building a site where you actually need to continuously input data in your input field, probably for testing purposes or other purpose, and then you don't want to keep on repeating yourself. So this fake filler extension is a good tool. Using just have to download the extension from Chrome or your browser, and then plug and play actually. So it fills in your input field for you, and then you are on the way to testing your application. We have the mobile simulator actually, and this is used for responsive testing too. This is a responsive testing tool, very, very good as a front-end developer, basically. So I'll mention this as a front-end developer. You need a tool that can actually make so you are actually testing for all screens. That is your mobile device, your desktop device, your tablet device. So you need a tool actually that can bring out that actual nice interface that will allow you to share your work. Probably you want to show your work to a user for testing, and then it's not deployed yet. So these are tools that we can use as a front-end developer to make our user experience more seamless. Now we also have our massive origin cost changer. So the cost changer is used basically for APIs. So you work on some third-party APIs, and then probably you have cost errors. Then this extension enables you as a front-end developer to filter out that cost error and then move on with your application to actually work with the API. And then we have other tools like React developer tools, Lorem Ipsum generator for text generator. You don't want to continuously, probably you want to put in some dummy data in your text or your input field. The Lorem Ipsum generator will just generate a dummy data text for you to work with and move on with your work. And then the clear cache also allows you to clear data across the browser. So probably as a front-end developer, you already load up some data in your cache memory or your local storage, and then you want to clear it out, and then you're having difficulties doing that. The clear cache extension basically help you do that, help you clear your cache from your browser basically. Can you hear me? I don't know if I'm audible. No.
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay, okay. So do I still have some minutes left?
Yes, you. Hello. We still have about 10 minutes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Paul.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I think you
So
have
I just
about
want
10
to,
minutes.
okay, I have 10 more minutes left.
Yeah.
Okay,
Before the next
let me,
speaker speaks, and we go
okay,
to
I
question.
okay.
okay, you actually done with your slide.
Yes, let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, so I just want to demonstrate some of what I've been talking about. Okay, yeah, can you also see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So for you to go to your inspect element, I actually want to demonstrate how it actually works. If you are not a developer, and then you can just right click and then go to your inspect element, and then from this place, probably let's go to Paystack Paystack website. Okay, yeah. So for instance, what I was saying earlier is that if you want to manipulate what you actually have and then see how it can be visible for you to display your own data on Paystack website. So this is Paystack website. So you can go to your mouse over and then actually click on the elements you want to manipulate and then change the parameters. So for instance, we have modern online and offline payments fabrica, and then you can put I am attending an online event right now. So it allows you to manipulate and then change the text of what you actually want, and then see how it looks like. And then you can also monitor the HTML elements or the CSS styling. You can also improve on that and then increase. So for instance, I want to sorry about that. Network. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think my network is loading up slowly. 1 minute. Okay. Yeah, so for instance, you want to manipulate the text. So you can also change the color from what it is to probably red, and then increase the font size to probably like 30 pixels. So this way you actually see okay, if I want to work on this on my own on my own self, and then on my own code, how will it look like when it is on the browser? So this way we can be able to manipulate our state. And then for the network tab, basically, once this particular website, which is paystack.com, is loading, we can visualize the data being loaded on this site. So once you reload, you can capture the data and then how many seconds does it take this website to load. So you can see mostly you'll be seeing, let me increase this. Okay, yeah. So mostly you'll be seeing 1 milliseconds, 1.5 milliseconds. You'll be seeing things like that. And then you can also just go to your Poglog browser tools, and then you see something like capture screenshot. So on this capture screenshot, once you click on it and you load your website, it captures the screenshot of how your data is being loaded. So you can see, let me open up this. So this particular section of the website is loading up in 1.05 seconds. So that's those are the tools that come in handy with our browser tools. And then we can also say, okay, so once we have a particular file or an image that takes probably like 5 minutes for it to load, you can actually check on these screenshots across all board. Okay, which file actually takes longer time to load up, and then you can debug your application from there, debug your website from there, and then move on to the next thing on your agenda. And then I'll be talking about the console basically. So on your source, you can just add a new snippet and then work on some JavaScript alongside with your console. So probably let me just show a little const my name equals to 4. And then you want to show what your name is on the console. Console.log my name. So once you run this, you'll be seeing, okay, console.log. Yeah. So once you log this on your browser, you'll be seeing Paul as your name. So these are tools that developers use to actually debug their JavaScript, which console is very, very important. And then I'll be talking lastly about our extensions, which are external tools that are inbuilt in our browser too. So for instance, I just finished building paystack.com, and then I want to visualize it to, I want to show user my mobile version of this website. How will I be able to do that? So you can actually use extension like the mobile simulator I told you about, I talked about earlier, which give you a nice interface of representing your website. So you can see now that this is our mobile version of Paystack while still on your web browser and on your desktop screen. So this way you can really toggle and then check around each component and see if it fits into what you are building as a mobile in the mobile device. And then you can also change it to from mobile to an actual laptop and visualize how does this site looks like, and then change it from laptop screen to an iPad. So these are tools that are very, very important for content developers. So when you are building application, website, web application across all screens, that's be it website, website or web application across all screens like desktop, mobile, and then iPad, you can actually use this mobile simulator to check your visualize your website and see how it looks like across your screen. And then lastly, I'll be talking about the remaining extension. So for instance, I am a content developer, and then I just finished building this input field. And then I don't want to continuously input my own personal details in the input field. So what can I use? Because I'm still in the testing stage. What can I use to bring out domain text in this input field. That's where form filler extensions of tools like form filler comes in handy. So you just right click after downloading it from your Chrome extension tab, you can just right click and then fill in all input fields. Then it brings out dummy text in all your input fields, and this saves you a lot of time as a content developer. As a user, also probably just want to test how it looks like when you fill in these forms. So you don't regularly bring in your own personal details while testing, and then put in your personal details all the time. So you can see it loads up all data across all screens. And then we also have tools like cost extension. I will not be able to demonstrate that because it has to do with APIs and all. So those are majorly the tools that come in handy that we can use to improve ourselves as a developer and also as a user. So when next you see that, okay, this particular website is loading up slowly, you can actually go back to your inspect element tab, go to your network tab, and then check around which particular image is causing the website to load up slowly. Then you can now report back to the website managers that, okay, this particular image
Yeah,
is slowing down your website. Yeah, thank you
thank you.
for listening. Thank you for listening. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Paul, for that session. I I know we all have questions for him because I do as well. I really don't know if you can answer our questions now or should just let it after the second speaker.
It will be after the second speaker, but we need to play a video now before the second speaker speak, us to show some of our product at Bincom. So I'll be sharing my screen now.
Bincom Dev Center. Bincom Dev Center is a multi-location tech training and development center in Nigeria, and our major objective at Bincom Dev Center is to produce over 1,000 quality tech individuals every year. These people are highly employable, globally attractive, and highly sought after in the tech ecosystem. You ask why, right? Yes, tech talents are in high demand in international communities such as US, the UK, Canada, and France. These countries have made policies and pathways to enable immigrations for tech talent. And guess what? Average salaries of software developers are as high as £35,000 per annum, and this is at the entry level. The opportunity for tech talents are endless both locally and internationally. This means that the tech ecosystem is one of the highest employers of labor in Nigeria. Yet, many tech companies say that they are not able to find the right tech talents that they need. This is why we started the Bincom Global Tech Program. The program focuses on 3 major pillars, which are learn skills, gain experience, and gain exposure. The program spans between 1 to 2 years, and during this period, trainees are taken through an in-depth curriculum in their chosen tech tracks and also in development of soft skills required for them to become globally attractive in the tech ecosystem, both locally and internationally. This program helps trainees to learn tech skills, gain relevant tech experience, and also exposure to the endless possibilities and opportunities available in the tech ecosystem all over the world. Listen to some of the testimonials of our past trainees.
Yes, I had high hopes and expectations while joining Bincom Academy, and trust me, believe you me, yes, it was met beyond my expectations. I saw things I have never seen in my life.
The program has various knowledge tracks that you can choose from. Some of the technical knowledge tracks include the data science track, which is starting with Python. We have the backend track starting with PHP, the front end mobile app track starting with JavaScript, the DevOps infrastructure track. We have the UI UX graphics track and also the software testing and quality assurance track. And apart from the technical and software programming knowledge tracks, we also have business knowledge tracks that are equally highly paid across the world. And some of them include the project, service, and product management track starting with Agile. We have the digital marketing, performance marketing track as well. That's interesting, right? Yes. This is a highly intensive program. You need to be able to commit at least 40 hours every week to the program. You can choose from our various shifts. We have the regular shift, which is the 40 hours weekly, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 1 to 2 Saturdays a month. We have the night shift, the 40 hours weekly, which is 5 p.m. till late on weekdays and 1 to 2 Saturdays every month. We also have the majorly weekend shift, which is 40 hours weekly, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays, and then 4 hours every other weekdays. We also have other flexible shifts based on your availability. Yes, all you need to start are a laptop device and a passion and a hunger for IT. But wait, it gets better. We have various financing options to help you cover the cost of the program. Though the program is not free, you do not need to have money to be able to apply and be admitted to this program. The total cost of the Bincom Global Tech program over the 1 to 2 years period is 1.2 million naira. And we have one of the financing options available is the income sharing agreement, which means that the company will sponsor you through the entire program and you only start paying when you start earning income. After the program, this means that aside the skills, the experience, and the exposure, the company is also willing to invest their money on you. It doesn't get better than that. What are you waiting for? Hurry up to bincom.net/globaltech and register to launch your global tech career. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Sarah, on from here. All right, you can continue, Sarah.
Okay. So I'll be calling on the second speaker, in person of Awoyemi Patrick. Awoyemi Patrick is the front end mobile app developer at Bincom Dev Center, and then you'll be buttressing more on the points laid down by Paul, and I hope we learned too. So Patrick, you can take over. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon,
My name is
Patrick.
Awoyemi Patrick Benga. I'm a mobile app developer at Bincom Dev Center. Actually, Paul, I've said a lot. In fact, I was like almost like there was left for me to say here again. So, but well, today I will be more practical. So I would like to take us through some of the things we can do with our browser, aside from viewing the web page and all that. But majorly, a lot of us, I'm not sure if a lot of us will know that we can actually edit code while it will sync into our files and the text editor and all that. You see how it works. Same can work comfortably in our browser and all that, and as well how we can use a console and all that. So without wasting time, let's dive in. I'm sharing my screen. So can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Actually, I wanted to share my entire screen, but I don't know why this thing is not giving me an option of my entire screen. But
I
anyhow,
think this is the
I
entire
will.
screen.
I did the
No,
test.
this is just my. Okay, I don't know if you
Maybe
get what
maybe
I'm
it's the
saying.
option you selected because it will bring out some options for you. Maybe it's what you selected to share.
No, it just selects based on certain screen, or
I don't
I
think
can't
so.
share. I can't. Okay, let me see. Let me see if you can see this. Can you see my text editor?
No, can't see your text editor. You didn't share the text editor.
Okay,
You are already sharing your
that's okay. That's why.
web page.
Okay. All right. So here we'll talk. I wanted to talk more about console and the elements, then sources. So let's get started.
Okay.
So on these elements, we can actually see that all our what is it called, code, which is HTML and CSS, is very feasible. And as we can see, we can edit any of this by clicking on the element here, or I'm coming, sorry.
No problem.
So we can just edit as HTML, which will automatically like edit here. But the problem is that immediately if we refresh this thing, it will go back to the original state. So what can we do? So the first step is, first we need to understand how this thing works. First we need to go to override, then add folder to workspace, which the folder I've already created this project for this meetup. So I will add the folder, then I will go back to my file system, then add folder again. So allow. So this, if you can see my screen clearly, you can see that it's showing some green dots beside each file, which means my everything I'm doing here is already, it will automatically like reflect in my text editor. If I change anything here and I save, it will reflect. If I go to my text editor, I will see it happening like that. So, but if I click on this if I click on this HTML now and I say okay, so if I open my text editor, I should, well, you can't see my text editor. Okay, let me share my, sorry. It will reflect in my text editor. So if I change it, the same thing, it will happen, also reflect without without any like coming here to come and change it again, or if I refresh the browser that it will just disappear and all that. So that's one of the best way to work. But and because I've already worked on this thing before, so it's very easy to work. If you wanted to, if you created this file system and the override like this, first thing you need to do, Control Shift P, you need to access this via script. Show content scripts before it can work, because if without that it will not work. It will not work. So you can easily work the way you work on your text editor. You can work here anyhow you want it. And then let me say, for example, I wanted to work on the
browser again. Patrick.
Oh, you can. Oh, you can't see my browser. Sorry. Can you see my browser now?
Yes.
Okay. So, like the same way you can work here comfortably, add anything you want here, you know. Like font size. Sorry, it's my network. Actually, you can edit this header here. You can as well add class. You can as well add a class here, like you can as well add new class here that is inside your thing, and all this will directly sync into your folder and into your files and your text editor. So another way I use this browser is, for example, maybe let me use W3 School. W3. Maybe for like you are working on a project and you just want to have a snippet. maybe you are working on a. Can you see my screen? Hello.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, maybe you are working on a project and you just want to have a snippet, or you like the way they design this page. You can this what's it called, this sites, you can clone it from here comfortably. You can clone the site, access the HTML, everything, CSS, and all that from here. So this is the file I save inside my browser, but I can just create a snippet here. So by going into this folder, source page, Control P, then show elements. So what I'm saying is that you can edit all this. You can edit all these things, then copy it into your snippet. Then look for, maybe there is a particular design you wanted to work with here. Maybe for example, I'm coming. Maybe this I wanted to. Sorry. So this is what I'm looking for. So you can access this file code here. Sorry. Control A, Control C, then add it into your snippets. Then later you can start inspecting it, work with whatever you wanted to take out from it, and can work with it. The same thing apply to CSS parts and whatever, anything, any type of information or things you see on the website you like, or you wanted to know how a particular it was structured, you can as well just go to the you can inspect it from here and work with it anyhow you want it from here. So what I'm saying is that you can here have a snippet of a code, get all the, sometimes when you go to the site like this, you can't feel it's not accessible, you will not understand it. But by trying to work with it like this, you'll be able to see code, you'll be able to work with the code anyhow you want it. So another way of using browser tools is trying to work with target a specific device. For example, maybe iPhone S or so. it will be easy for you to work with it. Sorry, it will be easy for you to work with it. Maybe you are targeting iPhone SR or iPad, or as well like this. So this for people that are, maybe you are targeting a particular media query or so. You can easily work with this. While you can easily choose which device you wanted to work with it while you are still on your browser. So another thing I wanted to talk about is network. So like as I'm on this page now, maybe I uploaded or downloaded something on my project. Then I now wanted to see how it's working, how it's, maybe the net is slow or very fast, or how it's working on this thing. The only thing I will just do is to come here and inspect it from here. So for example, this script.js, I can easily access all the information here. The time it takes to load and all that, everything I need, I can access it here. I can also access some files, because now this is, I just created small HTTP server with what's it called, with Python this morning. If you wanted to know know more about it, you can easily go to developer, just go to developer tools. So it's very easy. You can access how this thing work here, how you can create that. I'm coming. So you can see how you can get all the information you need, how you can create that and work comfortably with your project. So without like being, because most of the time it's only when people, when they put their this thing on the server that's already live on the server, that they usually have access to a lot of things. But if you wanted to create a local server and work with it and I'll see how it's going to work the same way it's working while you are still developing it, you can just create it. You can have access to all the information here. So with console, Paul have said a lot about this thing, but I will just try to share some tips as well. So we can do whatever we want here. We can console the log. So we can do whatever we want here and to just see how it's going to work in our project. And at the same time, we can edit a page by trying to we can edit a page here as well. Documents dot design mode. Let's go to sorry. So now I can do whatever I wanted to do here without any, just see how it works. Any part of the page, I can edit it, I can work with it comfortably without so I think these are some of the things we can do with the browser, and it's, to me, it's more comfortable working here sometimes than what's it called, text editor like a Visual Studio, because everything I can do, whatever, anything I wanted to do on text editor, I can do it as well here without any issue, without trying to go and be like go back and save my project and all that. So I think this is what I have for you guys. Thank you very much.
Okay, Patrick, thank you so much for that wonderful session. Thank you. I don't know. Just like I said earlier, if you have questions for any of the speakers, we can do well by sending it to the chat box. I'll read them out, or you can just unmute yourself and ask. Okay, does it mean that we all understood everything that was taught? Please, if you can hear me, I also want to know if anybody can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you. Clearly.
Okay. Okay, from my own end, I have a question for Paul.
Okay.
So, Paul, can you hear me right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So my question is, I actually had the question in mind when you were teaching, but then when Patrick came in, somehow it seemed like you already answered the question, but I still need a clearer view on it. Okay, when you're talking about I'm using the elements tag in the developer tool to actually edit websites or something, like when you change the CSS color the fonts. Yeah, so I actually want to know if it's possible, because the time I tried editing a particular site like that. But then I kept wondering, is it possible to actually edit other person's website, like from the console? And then that was what Patrick answered when he said um after editing that once you refresh the page it will go back to how it used to be. Yeah, but then I also wanted to explain it, like how um possible is it for us to tamper with people's websites? Like, I don't know.
Okay, I'll start saying, the response from me would be that, you can actually tamper with any website, anybody code actually, like from your web browser. But the reason why it is not possible for it to remain its state is that you're only working with your memory, your browser memory actually. So you are not working with what is being hosted on the internet basically. So immediately you refresh, it loads up the initial data, that's the initial state of which the company or the developer itself, him or herself, deployed the web application. So once you are doing some manipulation on the your Chrome browser or your browser essentially, it only works directly with what you have. So just for yourself, just to visualize it yourself, and then, but you can also copy the code to your own code and then you reuse it. But you cannot actually tamper with the actual website data because you're only working with your we call something local host. Is the same with our browser. So you're only working with your own browser cache and memory. So immediately you reload and refresh, it brings out the initial memory of which the website was deployed. So that would be the main website from the web server or the hosted server it's coming from. So it brings out that data. So, but once it's offline like that, you can just work on it on your own manual system and then just visualize it yourself. So that's why you can never tamper with another person's code because it is hosted somewhere on the cloud. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Um, but then if it's our own site, like if we're the one building it, like if it's our own website, we can actually make those kind of changes.
Yeah,
Like,
so if it's in your website, because actually you'll be working with your IDE, and then you're just the what the browser does is just to visualize what you are building. You're working with text editor. So what you can do is just to manipulate what you have because you are the site builder, probably like the front end developer, the back end developer, any developer you are. So you are the site builder, you have the IDE there with you. So you can actually just use your browser to visualize it and then edit it to your taste and then just copy the code of what you have on your browser. The way you manipulate it, probably change some property elements. You can just copy it and then paste it on your browser, on your IDE rather, that's your text editor. Then save it and then the changes are implemented on your browser. But even though it is your own code, and then you are making some changes on your browser that you are using an inspect element, and then you expect it to, when you refresh, it also retains the state. It won't work that way because you're actually just using the browser memory, not the IDE memory. So you actually have to copy from your web browser to your IDE for it to for your code to know that okay, those changes have been implemented, and then you can now refresh or save your IDE, that's your text editor, your code, and then it's being implemented on your web browser. So that's how it works.
Sarah, it's possible to work with your text editor and while your file, everything you change will remain there, but you need to, like I explained that time, like override. You need to use override. One, import your folder, your project folder into the console. As long as your folder is inside the dev tools, and you can edit your project. And the same thing, if you check the project, if you edit it, if you check your text editor, you will see that everything, all the changes will also reflect in your text editor. Like I explained, that when you are using override, you use override, then you import your files. It's possible. And most of the time is even the best way to work, is even the best way to work. Assuming this thing, I can share my entire screen. You will see it like the way I'm typing, the way I'm changing anything, it also reflects in my text editor. So it's possible, but there is a process. Like the way I explained that there are some things you need to do before it can work like that. So
yeah, so I believe that will do for that explanation. So I think to buttress Patrick's point, to work with something like that, you have to configure your Chrome browser to be in sync with your text editor. That's your ID. So apart from that, if you are working on it separately, you don't have to copy and paste your code. But if you want it to be in sync, you have to go through what Patrick has done a great job explaining.
Okay, thank you. My last question for you, Paul. All the extensions you talked about, the mobile simulator and the rest of them, are they Chrome extensions, like, I don't know, or stuff you have to install or download?
No. So the extensions are displayed just typically Chrome extensions. So if you, I think, um, um, so basically those are Chrome extensions that are on the settings of your system. You can just check for extensions, so you can download those extensions. So if you know the name, you can type out the name and then download them. So they're just on Chrome. They are just external extensions on Chrome. We have many more. We have different extensions that you can also, that is more okay to use as either you're a developer or just a user. So those are extensions that come with Chrome.
Okay, thank you so much.
So Michael. Hello, Michael.
Yeah, Patrick.
Okay. I don't know. Sorry, pardon my the way my communication skills. Sorry. What I was trying to say is that it is possible, like I explained the other time. The first thing you need to do to bring your files into your DevTool is look at this. Initially, let me remove all the. So look at this override. The first thing you need to do is to, first of all, bring your projects, your folder in. I don't know if you can hear me. So you can see that it's asking for permission, allow. So once your folder is inside this override, so you see that enable local override. So automatically everything you do here is going to work, sync with your folder, with your text editor and all that. So now you can easily go back to file system. So now file system, you had folder again. You had the folder again. You allow. So you can see that this green dots, can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it.
This green dots means that everything you do here, it will also apply in your text editor. If you make any changes here, it's going to happen in your text editor. And if you refresh the browser, it's not going to change. Let me just do a demo here.
Okay.
You can see that Control S, I will save it. Once I save it, so why is it not showing? Sorry. Control. Now, oh, sorry. What you need to do now is to just, you access it through script, this thing, Control Shift P. Then you enter script. So look at this, show content script. So if I save it now, it should work. Can you see it?
Okay.
Welcome to console. So assuming now this thing is, I can share my entire screen. If I open my text editor, what I change here will reflect in my text editor. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. The same thing applied to my CSS. So now let me say, for example, I wanted to make a change here. You can see it. If I refresh, it will not disappear. Oh, sorry, I didn't save it. So no, it's saved. If I refresh it, it will not disappear.
Okay.
You can see. So now, because I've already bring my file here, because I make it now, this thing, what I did do here is, I just want everything I do here to work the same. Whatever changes I made here, it will automatically happen in my, it will automatically sync into my files and all my working space, including my text editor. The same thing applied to my, what's it called? My JavaScript. So if I refresh the page now, let me see. You have to save it, Control S, before the change. So you can see, welcome to DevTools. So everything you do here is possible to change it, but you have to go through that process. I don't know if it is clear, or I should like explain again.
No,
it's clear.
okay.
I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay, Patrick. But then I would actually request for something. I don't know for others, but I know somehow it's not really easy getting those steps like this. Like I really can remember most of the things you did, but if it's possible, you can do some a kind of documentation or something like that, or a slide to let us see the whole process. I would appreciate it for those interested, like me. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. I will do that today.
Okay. Okay, so I think that's all. Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you, Patrick. Really learned a lot, and we appreciate you for coming. And thank you guys for also attending.